Hey everybody, we are there. We are at episode 10. Yes, officially double digits for Road Signs 2011. Oh, yes, I knew you'd be excited just like I am. Okay, so on my last video, I said, coming off of the Elimination Chamber, Raw pretty much set up their half of WrestleMania in one night. I'm sticking by that, and following that pattern, we've pretty much set up most of SmackDown's side of WrestleMania, or their contributions anyway. Last night, I made a video last night, not going to lie. I was tired and the video was shit, so I scrapped it, and I've been away for most of the weekend, so here I am doing this now at 1:45 in the morning on Sunday. Smackdown, especially with the Rock Cena thing happening on Raw, with the Undertaker Triple H thing happening on Raw, SmackDown's becoming a 2-hour commercial for Raw. They devoted a 10-minute segment to this is what happened on Raw with Cena and The Rock, and then they devoted another 10-minute segment to, hey, this is what happened with Triple H and The Undertaker. And I don't know. The Rock Cena thing is all happening on Raw, so I guess they'd have to do that as a throwback. But if you're going to dedicate some time to the Triple H Undertaker rivalry, Undertaker has always been a SmackDown guy, so have him do something on SmackDown that night to get people talking and whatnot. Just don't replay. And the replay of the Undertaker Triple H thing was bad. They had a guy doing overdubbed narration over their entire stare down, which had nothing, which is what made it effective. So way to take a good move, WWE, that you did, that was awesome, that worked, that hooked everybody more than anything that anybody had actually said, and totally fucking it up in 4 days. So, or 2 days, because we all know these things are taped on Tuesdays anyway. So they fucked it up the next day. Oh yes, they did. Undertaker in WrestleMania has finally been confirmed on the WWE website. It's not a big thing, but I mean, like, when they announce a match, or they hint towards a match on Raw and you know it's going to happen, they might as well put it on the site. Like, the only matches that were up there for the longest time were the 2 title matches, but I mean, realistically, we know a lot of the matches that are going to happen at WrestleMania. They just haven't been confirmed yet. So yes, I will announce on here every time I see a match confirmed, because that, I don't know, it's so that we can all go, well, yeah, duh. But Triple H and Taker is confirmed for Mania, and I'm sorry, that's the main event, because I'm sorry, Miz and Cena and Edge and Del Rio are not, they're not even close. Are they really? I mean, Edge, yeah. Miz I like, but he's not there. Del Rio I don't like at all. And Cena, if you haven't figured out my opinion on Cena by now, you just haven't been paying attention. Cody Rhodes and Rey Mysterio, I said a while ago that they were going to do something with this, and it touched on something I had heard on Right After Wrestling on the Score. I said they were going to do something with this. I didn't really want to see it. I don't think they're going to have a particularly good match if they have a match, but they brought it about in a pretty creative and okay way. They had Dusty Rhodes come out and talk to Rey Mysterio and feign an apology to Rey Mysterio for Cody Rhodes' behavior, and Cody Rhodes came out and, you know, faked an apology, and they both beat him down and whatever. Now, it threw me back to, I don't know what WrestleMania it is, I'd have to look it up, but the year that Randy Orton took on The Undertaker, and Cowboy Bob Orton came out and talked to The Undertaker and begged The Undertaker basically not to destroy his son. And it's a little campy, it's a little tacky to bring in, you know, the Hall of Famers, the old guys that aren't really doing much anymore, and give them a little bit of spotlight heading into WrestleMania time. But WrestleMania time is really the only time they can get away with it, isn't it? So it's a throwback to something they've already done before, but it was done well, and they beat down Mysterio, and they did something that's, you know, very controversial, and a lot of people don't like it. But I do. They had Cody Rhodes at the end, who's got his little plastic mask on with his broken nose or whatever, the bullshit storyline that they're pulling off with that. But they had him beat him down in the rampway and take his mask before he left, which I think is going to mean there's going to be some kind of lame mask versus mask stipulation at WrestleMania, in which case I want Rey Mysterio to lose, because I'm sorry, I caught enough of WCW to know that Rey was a lot more awesome after he lost his mask to, I believe it was Kevin Nash. If I'm wrong, I'm sure somebody will correct me. Do it down there, you know the drill. So now the way they've built it up, and that we have a reason sort of to watch it, I don't mind if they do this at WrestleMania. The other thing about this is if Cody Rhodes is just gonna go out there and destroy Rey Mysterio like he did, and come out looking all tough and pissed off and so forth, and especially after the speech that his dad gave in the ring about refocusing and all that, I really hope it means they're going to lose the whole dashing Cody Rhodes gimmick, moniker, whatever you want to call it, because it wasn't much better. But Cody Rhodes, when he was in Legacy with Ted DiBiase Jr., that Cody Rhodes was a lot more impressive in the ring and otherwise than the new dashing Cody Rhodes. Look at me with my self-improvement tips, and I'm going to teach you how to floss and brush your teeth and pluck your eyebrows. So, if nothing else, we can look forward to no more grooming tips from dashing Cody Rhodes, so that's a good thing. They're building quietly but strongly the rivalry between the Corre and Big Show. Now, I really want to see Ezekiel Jackson take on the Big Show at WrestleMania. I'm not, like I've said before, I'm not a big fan of big guy versus big guy matches. Like, you don't want to have another, Goldberg and Lesnar type match. But the way they're promoting this, the way they're building this, slowly, gradually, it's becoming more legitimate that Big Show and Ezekiel Jackson could have a good match. Unfortunately, with Wade Barrett being the leader of the Corre, it's leaning more towards that Wade Barrett is going to face him at WrestleMania, and I don't want that, because I don't believe that Wade Barrett will have a good match with him. It's not going to be Gabriel or Slater, because they've got the tag team titles and they'll do something. If they better face somebody better than Santino and Kozlov, because WrestleMania is not really a place to get your rematch, is it? So it's either going to be Ezekiel Jackson or Wade Barrett, in my opinion, and I want it to be Ezekiel Jackson, because he needs time to shine, and Barrett has had it and hasn't impressed me, and he can go away as far as I'm concerned. Edge and Del Rio is the only match that we've known about since Royal Rumble, really. How can I say this? The monkey wrench that got thrown in at the Elimination Chamber was Christian. Christian's got his ties to Edge. Christian's got his revenge story waiting in the wings for Del Rio. So how is Christian going to factor in at WrestleMania? Now, do I want him to come in and be something lame, like a special referee or a special guest, timekeeper, and just fuck over Del Rio and Edge gets the win? No, because I'd like to see Edge get the win. I'd like to see Edge get the win clean. The way they're pushing it, I'm really, really afraid they're going to hand over the belt to Del Rio, which is disgusting. But I would like to see, Edge come in, beat Del Rio cleanly, and then Christian comes out, laughs in his face, and kicks the shit out of him, just for shits and giggles. I would love to see it. It happened once. I'd like to see it again. Oh, yes. And Vickie Guerrero was fired on Smackdown. Now, we all hate you're fired, you're hired, you're fired, you're hired, you're fired, so you're going to end up on Raw, you're fired, so you're going to come back in 2 weeks, and you're not going to be fired anymore. We don't like those stories. I don't like them. They're lame. We know they don't mean anything. But character-wise and storyline-wise, if you suspend your disbelief for a couple minutes, the firing of Vickie Guerrero was great. Kelly and Edge versus Vickie Guerrero and Drew McIntyre was an okay way to do it. I think they've kind of hopped on and off the Drew McIntyre and Kelly story enough that nobody cares anymore. I would have loved to have seen it, honestly. I would have loved to see Kelly versus Vickie straight up with Edge as the referee, and just have it that Edge legitimately fucked her over and just got her out. But she's gone, or she will be gone, or she'll try to raise her voice, over on Raw, or she'll try to pick up another superstar and manage them later on. Probably. Oh, yes, she will. Now that Vickie Guerrero is gone, at least for the moment, I want them to bring back Dolph Ziggler, because, as I've been saying forever and ever and ever, Dolph Ziggler has the tools to actually be a superstar in the WWE. He never needed Vickie Guerrero, and I'd love to see him turn face, honestly. I'd love to see him turn face and have a young rivalry with a guy like Del Rio. So yeah, bring back Dolph now that he's Vickie-less and got his balls back. And that's about the end of that. Okay, one thing everybody's talking about, and I've talked about it ad nauseum already, is because we have a Money in the Bank pay-per-view, are they still going to do Money in the Bank at WrestleMania this year? It's seeming like they're not, because nobody has whispered anything about Money in the Bank yet. But when you think it's not going to happen, or at least when I think something's not going to happen, it's fun to sit back and think about what you would like to see. Unfortunately, in the last couple of years, in the last couple of Money in the Banks, they've been people that just plain should not have been involved. The Big Show, Kane, Finlay, Mark Henry, Jack Swagger, Sheamus. Was Sheamus in a Money in the Bank? I think so. Again, correct me if I'm wrong down there. But, you know, if you put in people like that belong in a Money in the Bank match, obviously, first thing people that come to mind are like the Edge and Christian and the Hardy Boys and stuff like that. The Hardy Boys are gone. Edge doesn't need it, quite frankly. But I put together, out of who they've got in the WWE right now, this is what it is. First of all, bring it back down to 6 guys. Because 10 last year, when you didn't have enough people that belong in that type of match to have 10 in there, just don't do it. Overkill is overkill. The word kill is in there for a reason. You're killing the entire concept of Money in the Bank if you just put anybody in it. It would be like... It's like anybody that's not the Dudleys having a table match. It's like, why? It would be like anybody that's not the Undertaker having a casket match. I don't know, it doesn't make sense. So choose people that belong there, and choose people, even if you put in some people there that you know aren't going to win, but will be good in the match. Shelton Benjamin was the ultimate example of that. Shelton Benjamin, I don't think anybody ever thought he was going to win the Money in the Bank, which is unfortunate, because he would have made a good world champion, in my opinion, but you kind of got the idea early that he wasn't going to get that ball. So, here is my fantasy WrestleMania 27 Money in the Bank match. Chavo Guerrero, who punked out Vickie quite nicely on Smackdown, and I forgot to applaud him for that. But, Chavo Guerrero, Primo, Kofi Kingston, Evan Bourne, Christian, and John Morrison. Obviously, you know I'm pulling for John Morrison to win that, or Christian as a close second. But, I mean, Chavo, Primo, Kofi, and Evan Bourne could steal the show, first of all. Second of all, will do a very good job of making whoever wins that match look really good. Is it going to happen? No. It's not going to happen purely because I've come out here and said it and that I want it to happen. So, of course, it's not going to happen. Anyways, that's the end of that. I'd like to talk about TNA for a second, and I know this is a WWE video, but TNA is really struggling to get everybody's attention in the WrestleMania season, are they not? You know, they're pumping the Angle and Jarrett story down our throats. They're pumping the fight to see who's going to fight Jeff Hardy next right down our throats. And they even went as far, okay, we all marked out, we all looked the wrong direction when the 22111 thing popped up, and we all thought it was going to be Sting, and da-da-da-da-da. Yes, so TNA is going to have their laugh. I read a spoiler. Oh, yes, did I read a spoiler? I hate spoilers, especially when I stumble across them by accident. Spoilers spoil things. It's right in the name. But, so, in mockery of the 22111 vignettes that WWE ran for a good couple of weeks, TNA ended last Thursday with a 3-3-11 with basically the exact same font and everything. Now, I read the spoiler as to what this means for Impact this Thursday. I'm not going to be a dick and tell everybody what's going to happen that watches TNA on my channel, but I'm not impressed. That's all I'm going to say, and if this is the best that TNA can do to battle WrestleMania season in the WWE, they will fail. Yeah, I said it. Anyways, I've been Spaz. This has been episode 10. Subscribe up there. There we go. Subscribe up there. Talk down there. I really want to know what you guys think, and I will talk to you later. Bye.